Alright guys, what I wanted to do here is give you guys some sample footage from this ThiEye T5 Pro action camera. Now, I'm using the built-in mic. This camera does not accept an external mic. I'm not going to boost it so you can see just, actually hear in this case of course, what it sounds like. From what I saw, and a little bit I looked into this before I got it, is that, the internal mic is just so-so. It's not muffled necessarily, at least from what I remember, but it's not super loud. I've only got it about 6 inches from my face right now though, so you guys do have a chance to hear me. Now, I'm just walking around my backyard. It is winter time here, so of course it's not going to be very good for showing off any vibrant colors. Everything's drab and brown and dormant, so I apologize for that. I do plan on, doing obviously a much more comprehensive review. This is not a review, and I'm going to I'm going to turn the screen back on there. I have to just tap the button. This is a touch screen too, which is really nice. Here's this little bird thing. It fell down, a little hummingbird thing. It has some green color. And here's some more of them here. But I wanted to give some 4K at 60 frames per second sample footage because this camera is only about, the last I checked was around $98, $99. And to get 4K at 60, and it is true, it is not fake, that's incredible. Now, you have an H.264 or R265 codec that you can use. Here's some weeds that have never fully died back here that actually have some color. This stays sheltered back here, so sometimes this stuff doesn't completely die in the wintertime. But anyway, you can use that codecs for anything except for 4K at 60. 4K at 60 is uses like an MJPEG, which is simply each frame on the video is a JPEG. So you've got like 60 JPEGs a second being saved here into a video format. So if each JPEG is a couple of megabytes, you can see where this would require a very high bit rate. And I've got a U3, which is what they recommend, SanDisk Extreme card in here, and it still may not be fast enough because I've heard this thing goes up to 200 megabit per second on this MJPEG, which is very fast. So there could be some noise, so keep that in mind. A faster card could actually clear up the video even more from what you guys see here. But what I was saying a while ago is I do want to put this onto a drone, and I'm going to do some EIS. This has electronic image stabilization. If you go anything up to, like, I don't think 2.7 at 60 has it, but I think anything under that, it'll do image stabilization at 4K at 30, which is pretty nice. But of course 4K at 30 is not good for really fast movement. So yeah, it's got image stabilization, touchscreen, and it seems to be a pretty good video from what I've seen. I think 1080p at 60 looks good, but I believe it's got to go to 120 also, which is probably overkill in the frames per second. And it's got a slow motion, which is really neat. That also seems to be, I don't know exactly how it processes slow motion, but that to me looked drab when I was doing tests indoors, along with 4K at 60 and low lighting. So I don't know if the slow motion uses, some sort of MJPEG for it also. I don't know. A big thanks to Paul Anka over at Technotronic 2000, his channel, for filling me in on the codec information, the MJPEG, and the bitrate, because there's very little information out there. But anyway, we'll see how this video looks. This is, of course, just 4K at 60, internal mic, of course, and obviously there's no image stabilization or anything fancy. Again, at 4K at 30, you get image stabilization. Let's look up at the clouds here, and you also get, the more modern codecs on any of the lower resolutions and frame rates. But we'll see how it does here in better lighting conditions, just because indoors 4K at 60 was very drab and noisy compared to 1080p at 60, which was being saved. You can select between H.264 or 265, and I used H.265 for the 1080p at 60, and it was much more vibrant because it's, you know, using that modern codec and not using the MJPEG, which is very old. But what ThiEye was doing, of course, is the processor in this, being a budget camera, can't handle processing those modern codecs at 4K at 60. Can do, I think, 4K at 30, but so they had to go to this old codec, which gave them the capability to being able to do 4K at 60. That was the only way to get around it, but it's still nice that it's an option. So I want to give you guys a sample. We'll come back with a full review, doing some image stabilization tests on and off. Maybe throw it up in a drone. I definitely want to put it on a car and see how the image stabilization does, and you know, just test it out. Probably gonna wait until probably towards spring when we can get some more vibrant colors and flowers blooming, because that's really the best way to test a camera like this. So it may be a few months before I do the full review on this camera. And of course, you know, we'll get all that stuff covered in a full review. But I want to get this out there now to give you guys a sample. The purchase link to this in the description, because you know, if you like what you see, you're not going to get a camera that offers a touchscreen along with these resolutions and image stabilization at the lower frame rates and resolutions for $100. I mean, that's why I was excited and jumped at the opportunity to review this. So, alright guys, that wraps up this little walk around video. Again, it's not the best conditions for giving you the most vibrant colors, but it gives us an idea here and gets something out for you guys. And like I said, we'll be back with a full review whenever it's better conditions for filming it. Alright guys, talk to you later.
The power of the dark